back again. We are going to understand the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So as in the meditation, we understood that we have hardwired so many thoughts in our heads, so many notions, which is not allowing us to alter the way we think. But now we want to break this habit. So to break something which we have built up over years and years and years and lifetimes is going to be not very simple. But yes, we are not going to give up, because if Joe Dispenza could do it, if Louise Hay could do it, we can also do it. So with that intent, I go ahead with this book, and I will like to share my small presentation which I have created for the purpose. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and this is his amazing book, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. So how simple it sounds, you know, as if we're just going to remove our mind and just put in a new one. So what is very intriguing is that it is that simple, that we have the power, provided we allow ourselves to do it. Half the time we don't allow ourselves because we are so bound by rules, regulations of our society, our family, our traditions, our culture. So we are not ready. We are scared. We do not want to step into the unknown. Okay? We are happy with the cause and effect formula of Newton. So whatever we have been taught, that whatever you will do, the result depends on that. It's going to come back as a boomerang, and that's what's going to happen. So don't do this, this will happen. Don't do this, this will happen. So with that fear, right? So there was one, when you will read this book, you will read, like if you go back in the history of science also, long back, you know, obviously, like as I was giving you examples that Earth is round and now Earth is flat and now we know it is round. Similarly, we were just given rules, okay? That Newton said, you will do an action, there's always an equal and opposite reaction. We lived with this over years, but then we said, somebody in the 1900s said, wait a minute, why cannot I cause the effect? If I am a speck from the divine, why cannot I cause that effect? Yeah. So then lots of people went into this research. Many of them just studied a lot of philosophies from the East, from Bhagavad Gita, which is the fountainhead of the East, I would say. It is the most renowned book which has been read by most of these people. So that was also a new thing for me, because I always thought it was a Hindu religious book, but it's not the case, my dear friends. It's basically a help book, a guide, a manual for everything, for good living, for good health, for management, for anything. So anyway, so these people went into this, they wanted to create, they were rebels, you know, like we are not going to accept that what is given to us, we've got to choose, this is our karma. I do believe in karma theory, it's all connected. But yes, along with the karma theory, there is something called a free will. That is also granted to us by the divine, which we do not exercise at all. We just surrender. We have to surrender to the divine. That is also another gift from the divine, free will, where you take the charge of your life in your own hands. You are able to alter the karma. You are able to transcend the karma. Even Bhagavad Gita says, knowledge can burn the effects of your karma. I'm not too good in Sanskrit, so I will not be able to... Sanjana ma'am, do you remember the number of that verse?
Yeah, I don't remember the number, but I know Gyan Agni Dagd Karmanam.
Absolutely.
ज्ञान की अग्नि से सभी जो कर्म है भस्म हो जाते हैं.
Absolutely. That's so lovely. So you have that power. You just have to increase your knowledge and you will be able to take control of your karmas also. Karmas are there. So don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying do not believe in the karma theory. Karma is definitely there. Whatever we have done is going to come back as a boomerang to us. वो तो decided है. Every word you speak, every action you do is going to come back to you. But along with that, we have the power to increase our knowledge. जो अभी संजना मैम ने verse बोला है, that's from the Bhagavad Gita, which says that with the fire of knowledge, you can burn your karmas and how lovely it is. How beautiful it is, isn't it? So this is what happened. Dr. Joe Dispenza, as I was telling you, he met with an accident. He broke all his bones and he did not know what to do. And then he also dived into this knowledge of creating his own destiny himself. Okay? If you can't control your mind, and everyone, if you can't control your mind, everything and everyone will. Everything and everyone else will. Means, if you're going to just not use your own mind, the environment is going to have an impact on you. Your body is going to have an impact on you. Now, what are we doing? We are going to do something so that we have an impact on the environment. We want happiness, but we want everything should be nice and happy, तब हम खुश होंगे. तो बाहर कुछ होगा तो हम खुश होंगे. But no, he said, हम अंदर we'll get the happiness, things around us will change on their own. Isn't that lovely if you can master this power? So you have the regulator. The environment doesn't have a regulator. So we don't have to wait for anything to happen outside for us to become happy. Okay? So we're addicted to our beliefs. We're addicted to the emotions of our past. We see our beliefs as truth and not as ideas that we can change. जो सब हम बचपन से सीख कर आए हैं, we think, oh, this is it. This is the ultimate. I cannot sing. I was shouted by my teacher. My mother told me, you have a very bad voice. So I just cannot sing. But we do not even attempt to change that. We are so stuck with those older emotions. So your thoughts are incredibly powerful. Choose them wisely. So I'm just introducing you to the author. These are all his words, and this is all what he said. The quantum field responds not to what we want, it responds to who we are being. हम क्या हैं? That is why the need of breaking the habit of being yourself. जो आप अपने आप को feel करते हैं, this is me. I will stop after say 10 or 15 minutes after introducing the book to you, and chapter 1 and 2 we will do next week then. So first you have to at least get connected to the energies of the author and understand what this book is about. So he says that what we don't have to respond to what we want. हम क्या करते हैं? Goal setting, vision board, this is what we want. And we stop our work over there. That's just the beginning. We've got to do that. Of course, we've got to focus on what we want. But he goes ahead and says that you have to feel also that it has already happened. Only then it happens. So many people have talked about law of attraction, the secret. Why doesn't it work for everyone? Because they stop midway. They set their goals, they ask, and they wait to receive it. They are not believing that it has happened. They are doubting it. You want to go to a trip, just close your eyes and just imagine you're already there. Feel the cool air, feel the happiness, feel the people around you. Feel you're trekking in the woods, in the mountains, wherever. That smile will come automatically to your face. So why do we see our past memories, our pictures? Because we are very sure that, oh, this is the time we were happy. Then you smile. Why can't you have the trust in your future too? That even that's going to be happy, and then smile. This is what he's saying, breaking the habit of being yourself. That is the need. You are the creator of your world. So all we have to do is take control of our mind. How do we take control of our mind? No rocket science. Meditation will help you. And a little sharing of whatever we have read and reading these amazing books. Abhi padha na humne, Bhagavad Gita says, knowledge of the fire can burn your karmas. Okay, who is this? Tesla, I believe.
Yes, Nikola Tesla.
Nicholas Tesla.
Yeah. If you wish to find the secret, Mukesh, you'll have to mute your mic. There's some issue there. If you wish to find the secrets of the universe, think of it in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. So we have to believe, अगर हमें universe के साथ connect होना है, we have to have the same ingredients of the universe. Our children have the same body parts as we had. So if we have come from the divine, if we are spiritual beings, if we are light beings, if we are a part of the universe, we are also energy, frequency, and vibration. This is what Albert Einstein also said. E is equal to mc squared. So everything is made up of energy, and that energy is vibrating at a certain frequency. So as I said, raise your frequencies and match the frequencies of the universe. We are always living in the limiting emotions, limited frequencies, lower frequencies, hate, guilt, competition, criticism, judgment. All these are very, very low frequency vibrations. So if you will stay in those vibrations, how do you expect to attract events which are on a higher vibration? It's so simple. It is so simple. But never mind, sometimes simple things are so profound, it takes time to understand. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna had to recite, I think, 700 verses to explain to Arjun that it's okay to stand up and fight against your cousins. That was his confusion. Why should I fight with my cousins? So Krishna explained to him in 700 verses. That is how the Bhagavad Gita came in, the Gita, the song, which has 700 verses. So if Arjun was a slow learner, so we are definitely slower than him still, because we do not have Krishna giving us directly. But yes, we can get connected to the energies of Lord Krishna, to the energies of the universe, and from where all the answers are going to come. All the answers are there. All you have to do is go within yourself, because the speck of that divine consciousness, the speck of that higher consciousness, the speck of the universe, the speck of Lord Krishna, everything is within us. The speck of Guru Nanak, the speck of whomsoever you believe in is within you. So stop going out, running out. They have already planted the seed within you. Irrigate it with your meditation, with the powers of your meditation, and see it sprout, see it bloom. All the answers are within, my dear friends. Okay, so this was that. You want to see this today again? This is that double slit experiment I had shown.
Yes, please show.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
even I would love to see. Yeah.
See, this experiment actually explains that whatever we see is for example, okay, most of us are science students here, or we have at least studied science till 10. When we studied the atom, the Bohr's atom, so atom ka jo model tab banaya tha na, it was like a solid nucleus in the middle, and the electrons were, roaming around here and there. But then they conducted an experiment to see the nature of these, electrons. Are they waves or are they particles? Okay. For that, a double slit experiment was conducted, because they saw that when they fired these electrons, they sometimes behaved as particles and sometimes behaved as waves. So which was very, very confusing for the physicists that time. See, physics is not my subject, so please excuse if I'm not, explaining it in a very, very detailed manner. But whatever I've understood, I'm telling you. So they could sometimes be in a wave fashion, sometimes be as a particle. So when they used to fire them, they could see them just, for example, agar main bahut simple way mein explain karu, suppose I throw this book and there are two slits in front of me. What is the probability? Either it will enter through one slit or go through the other slit or bounce off the wall. Okay? These are the only three probabilities. Similarly, but when they fired this book, they saw it going through, sometimes through one, sometimes through the other, sometimes bouncing off, and sometimes, which was very, very surprising, it was going through both the slits. How could this happen? How could this happen? So they could not explain. Why is it happening? Why are these electrons behaving in such a way? Sometimes they're going through one slit, sometimes they're going through both the slits. So they conducted this experiment, and then actually people who know the nature of particles and the nature of wave, particles will always move in a single direction. So when the atom is behaving as a particle, it is going through the slit in a straight line. But when it is behaving as a wave, the waves are going to crisscross. I'll just show it to you in this experiment. It is self-explanatory. You will understand.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. when they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Okay. So this is a tiny experiment which I have seen many times to understand it thoroughly. So don't worry if the first time it goes bouncer. You can see it again. It's going to come in the recording now. So this is what it is. So now if atoms could be waves or particles, just give it a little thought. Aren't we eventually made up of atoms? Aren't we also like a body? Body is made up of organs, organ systems, then organelles, and then whatever, molecules, then atoms, right? So we are also made up of atoms. So agar hum atoms ke bane hain, so won't we also have some of these qualities? This thing. And secondly, now we know atom jo purana model tha, was, they were giving the set orbits of the electrons. But now we know in the quantum, the atom can be just anywhere. And we also know that 99.999% the structure of an atom is emptiness. Mass is very tiny, it is 0.001%. So, thoda sa logic lagaiye, if one atom is 99.99% emptiness, and emptiness is all energy, mind you. E is equal to mc square, right? Energy is emptiness is all energy. So if that one atom is 99.99% emptiness, we are made up of 100 billion atoms. I don't know the exact number, whatever. So all of them are also 99.99% emptiness, right? With me, all of you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So when we are 99.99% emptiness, so that emptiness has a quality of having energy. It is energy. We are not just exercising that. Our one neuron has a tiny electrical charge on it. So when all our neurons together, can't we generate that electrical power within ourselves to create what we want to create? So this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza started thinking on. And he started rewiring his neurons, which were hardwired by all the previous beliefs. And because of that, we were unable to create anything. So basically, there are 3 steps. We first have to unwire those hardwired neurons, fill it up with new notions, new ideas, and then be able to create. So that's why the secret was not working. Secret is not just thinking, visualizing, and manifesting. It is visualization, yes, but then it is also exploring your own power. How do you do that? The Bhagavad Gita says, knowledge. We've got to gain knowledge and wisdom from our past errors, mistakes. We have to remember our past mistakes, not to feel guilty or bad or pain or hurt, We have to remember our past mistakes only to gain wisdom out of it, learn lessons out of it. So with those lessons and with this newfound energy, this power, we can create whatever we want. The universe is abundant, like the abundance of possibilities there. All we have to do is match it with our vibrations. So there is a lot more to it, but I think we can stop here today. You have understood what we're going to do. I will be discussing in the group. I think next Sunday we should meet as usual at 6 because making it 6:30 is not solving any purpose. In fact, we are unnecessarily getting delayed. So that we'll discuss. If 6:30 is comfortable for everyone.